If you're just starting out with building web applications in .NET, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Without the right guidance, you might end up focusing on the wrong things early on, and that can slow you down big time. There's a ton of information and tutorials out there, but you don't need to know everything. You just need to start the right way. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact steps I recommend taking if you're starting from scratch today. This will help you avoid common mistakes and start building .NET web apps as fast as possible. Let's get into it. When I first looked into .NET web development, I had no idea where to begin. Should I learn Blazor, Razor Pages, maybe jump straight into APIs? Every tutorial seemed to teach things differently. I'd start learning something, then second guess if it was the right approach. The result? Zero progress and a whole lot of frustration. And here's what I wish someone had told me back then. Start with ASP.NET Core MVC. It's the most widely used approach for building .NET web applications, and it gives you a structured way to organize your projects. Plus, once you learn it, it's much easier to pick up other frameworks later. The biggest mistake I made and that I see others make is overcomplicating the start. You don't need to master everything before you build something. You just need to start with the right thing and focus on the essentials. Before you even touch ASP.NET Core MVC, there are a few key skills you need to be comfortable with. C# fundamentals, you don't need to be an expert, but you should know the syntax and basics of object-oriented programming, since C# is the language you'll use for .NET projects. Front-end basics, HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. Your web apps will have a front end, so you'll need to understand how to structure and style them. Skipping these basics will slow you down later when you run into problems you don't understand. The good news, you don't need to master these topics before moving on. Just get comfortable enough to work with them as you build. That way you'll learn as you go instead of feeling stuck before you even start. Now here's where most beginners go wrong. They jump straight into coding without understanding how an ASP.NET Core MVC project is structured. And trust me, that's a recipe for frustration. When you create a new ASP.NET Core MVC project, don't just start writing code. Take some time to explore the files first. Here's what you should focus on from day one. Models, they define the data structure of your app. This is where you create classes that represent things like users, products, or blog posts. Basically anything you want to store in a database. Views, this is what the user actually sees. These files control how information is displayed in the browser. Controllers, this is the middleman that handles requests, processes logic, and sends data to the views. It basically connects your models with your views. If you understand these three components and how they work together, you'll avoid a ton of headaches later. The last thing you want is to build an app without knowing where to put your code. Alright, so now you know the structure of your application. What's next? Instead of jumping into a full project, start with a small test app. Here's what I recommend. Create a simple model class, maybe a product with a name and price. Build a view that displays a list of products. Write a controller with an action method that sends data to the view. Once you see how these parts interact, you'll start actually understanding how ASP.NET Core MVC works. It's one thing to watch a tutorial, it's another to build something yourself. This is a mistake I see all the time, and I was guilty of it too, jumping straight into complex apps without mastering the basics. That just leads to confusion. If you build a small project first, everything else will start making sense much faster. Here's the thing, if you start the right way, learning .NET web development isn't as overwhelming as it seems. If you're serious about learning .NET web development, I've put together a free roadmap that lays out exactly what to learn and in what order, so you know what to focus on and avoid wasting time on the wrong things. You can grab it by clicking the link below or going to dotnetdeveloperroadmap.com. And if you want to keep learning ASP.NET Core MVC, I've made a full beginner tutorial which should be on the screen right now. So click on it and I'll see you there.